This is the Whiskey and Chokes podcast. Paige, Jack, Pat.
Okay, so you can tell that was a little less exuberant than our normal podcast intros, but that's because we got something special going on tomorrow. Tell them what it is.
Tell them what it is. Oh, this is what Paige looks like, by the way.
Oh yeah. You guys have heard Paige before, but you've never seen him.
Yep, now you know.
Now you see him.
Pretty awesome.
So tomorrow we got the Dean Lister seminar, though.
That's right.
Dean Lister seminar, so...
I think I've been wanting to do this since I was like 17, and I saw the 2003 Abu Dhabi compilation of his wins in the absolute. I think this is I was from that point on, I probably wanted to train with Dean Lister, so this is pretty big, I guess.
Oh yeah, man, he beat Kakariko, he beat Shanji,
Pedapano. Yeah.
That was amazing. First American since Mark Kerr to win.
Probably.
The absolute
I don't know. All I know
so.
is in my adolescent brain, that was the first grappling video that I saw that I was I want to do this shit.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, that was kind of pretty key in making me want to do grappling. So
that was really one of the first ADCC videos, period, that really received a lot of widespread distribution.
Yeah, that one, and
this was the first one outside of
and then
Middle East,
and then from the same Abu Dhabi was Eddie Bravo's win over Hoyler, and it was I think Dirtbag made both of those videos, Rick Estrada, and he
oh really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he made the Eddie Bravo one, but maybe the Lister one too. But they put music to it, and it made it look fucking cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a big deal, I think, for American grappling too, because Mark Kerr, you could just kind of blame, if you were against sort of Americans in grappling, you could sort of just blame that on steroids and painkillers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean,
yeah.
how many Americans were watching those matches between him and Mario Sperry and really rooting for Kerr?
There was probably only 50 Americans who were watching this match. In 2001.
Total, on the internet.
Whenever the hell that was.
Yeah.
This
is a big deal. It's
what are you most excited about tomorrow?
To be honest, I'm pretty excited about the triangles portion.
Yeah.
And this is because I've watched all the Catch DVD series that Dean just put out, and we actually I got to stand next to him and get my picture taken and sort of meet him
at
Grappler's Quest.
Yeah.
And I was kind of stoked because we're built somewhat similarly. He's
That's
not
true.
that much taller than me, quite a bit wider, but leg-wise, we're pretty similar. So I'm hoping he's gonna have some awesome triangle tips for kind of short-legged, stubby guys like myself.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that, but you guys are kind of built the same.
Yeah, in that waist down.
Yeah. So his catch series is knee bar, ankle, toe hold, compression, heel hook, right?
Correct. Yeah.
It's not catch wrestling, it's KATC.
KATCH, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course not. Of course it's not catch wrestling.
Not catch wrestling, which he's had recent experience.
What's interesting, and I haven't seen anybody actually talk about this or seen any information on this, but on the flyer for the seminar, it has a thing that what's included in the seminar is the participation in trying to tap Dean, and if you tap him, you get $1,000.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, holy shit.
I wonder if there's some small print on that now. But.
Yeah, I'm like, Christ, if if 50 guys show up, I mean, he's gonna just run through 50 guys. I'm like, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's probably unlikely.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works. I wonder if the way it works out, very few guys actually dare do it.
Yeah, I think so many guys.
Numbers.
Yeah, I bet there's just so few guys who are actually will actually go for it.
Maybe there's an extra buy-in. Maybe you got to buy in with $20 or something.
I don't know.
$10.
Or maybe just no one will bring it up.
Yeah. Maybe he just tells everybody, he's like, okay, we're gonna do the $1,000 challenge. So if you win, you get $1,000. If I win, you have to pay my bar tab tonight. Maybe he throws that in as a caveat.
Nobody would take that.
Yeah,
nobody would take that.
Because what I hear is that Dean likes to get the party cracking.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering supposedly it's in the contract that he has to go out and drink with me afterwards. Perfect.
That's what we've been hearing.
That's what we've been hearing from our inside source at Groundworks.
Yeah.
Should I double check that?
Yeah.
It would be out right now.
Yeah, this is supposed to be after the seminar, but that's what I was thinking about today.
Yeah.
Because I know he's in town already.
Yeah, Aren't we guessing he's at some bar somewhere right now?
I would assume.
Yeah.
We're with the two guys that are probably hanging with him.
Yeah.
Where would they take?
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking they'd go someplace lame.
Gracie's.
Possible.
First of all, I was thinking about it today, and I was guessing they're probably at Gracie's or Schneider's Wine. It's something like that. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, I kind of wonder how he's gonna run that. Like, if I was him, and I want to control numbers, I'd kind of make it into like a thing, like make people feel like they're like legitimately challenging him, so that not as many guys will do it.
Yeah, I'd make it super uncomfortable if I was him.
Or maybe he's just a badass. He's like, I'm gonna roll with everybody anyways because that's
That
what
would,
he
that would,
does.
yeah, that would be awesome if you rolled with everybody. He just came over and he's just like, all right, you're up.
I'll bet you he's willing to, for sure. I'll bet he's willing to roll with everybody. I mean, barring the possibility that like 100 people show up. But
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how many guys from Utah actually come
yeah,
to this because we've like historically had low turnout numbers at seminars.
yeah. There's the famous incident with Bushesha. He came and like 8 people showed up
Did
to the
you go to
seminar.
that?
I didn't.
Okay. I know our buddy Ken went to it. He said there was like nobody there.
Yeah, I saw
Well,
pictures.
Yeah, there was some inside sort of drama between
Ken.
affiliates here. Yeah, like
yeah.
that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Because it was well advertised.
Yeah.
I think everybody knew about it. I was out of town or something. There was some reason that I couldn't be there.
Yeah, we didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I heard about it the day before, and it was like, it was before Bushesha had really done a lot of no-gi
And
tournaments.
also, the guy who was running the tournament didn't know our gym existed
Yeah.
at that time.
So
That's true. Yeah.
somebody
Our gym was brand
told
new
me
then.
about it, and I was like, who the fuck is Bushesha? I was like, who's that? And they're like, oh, he's this guy. He's really good. He's badass. I'm like, I've never even heard of this guy.
Well, he's more. I mean, he's really a key guy.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
never competed in
Right
the
after-
ECC,
yeah, right
or we never heard of him in grapplers class. or
Right.
anything like
Yeah.
that,
Right
so.
after that seminar, though, he kind of went on a run where he's just doing no-gi tournaments and like cleaning them out.
Yeah,
So,
tearing out.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes down tomorrow. I'm sure Dean has a built-in thing, like no matter how many people show up, they have to pay him X amount just to show.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of been our experience in talking to guys about doing seminars like this.
yeah. God, I wonder how much a guy like Dean charges if. So we all know the one guy who just quoted us $1,000.
Yeah.
Who is an awesome grappler, but definitely not as doesn't have anywhere near the notoriety Dean Lister. So how much does Dean charge? Like $500?
Is that much?
Seems like
I doubt
too much,
that
right?
much, yeah.
But he's definitely got to be 5 times the draw of the guy who quoted us $1,000, right?
You would think, you know.
Yeah, but then again, it's like if it's the difference between 5 guys and 25 guys who come total, then I guess it doesn't make a difference.
I hope there's like 10 guys there.
That'd be
That'd be
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, I hope there's like 10, max 20 guys. I'm just like, don't show up, but I have a feeling there's going to be 80.
Yeah,
And they don't have a
Possible.
ton of mat space at Groundworks.
Yeah, I'm
To
kind
be
of
honest, like if there's 80 dudes, it's
Yeah.
gonna be really packed.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm kind of worried.
That's
I don't know. No, realistically, I think it'll be like 30 or 40, but it's like kind of like I'm kind of worried about like how much like instruction we're actually gonna get,
Yeah.
or if it's just gonna be like watching and then just trying to figure it out, on our own,
Yeah.
which is like we're all fully capable of that,
I'm totally okay with that too. Even if like the only thing we get out of the seminar is like Dean being like, okay, my theory on this, when this happens, my theory is that your highest percentage bets do this. I'd be
Right.
totally okay with just seeing what he thinks about the different shit.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Well, and then
Yeah.
just on principle, I feel like it's important to support any sort of grappling thing that's going
Yeah.
on, especially in a little teeny place like Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Just to raise awareness that we exist. It's been cool to watch, Triumph United and Dean both kind of push this on social media and like, in some small way, people are going to be thinking, oh yeah, hey, there's grapplers in Salt Lake. Who knew?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'd probably go if there was no instruction, if it was just like him hanging out at some bar and, signing autographs or whatever. Not
That
grapplers
might
would
actually
do that.
be a better deal.
Yeah, I'd still go to that, even if it was like a, whatever, $20 cover charge.
Yeah.
Just go in and say what's up to him.
Yeah, get drunk with Dean, $20.
Yeah.
I guess this was supposed to happen tomorrow night, according to what we saw.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Did you guys hear Dean's story about how he picked up the Brazilian bartender in Europe?
No.
This is actually kind of genius. So he goes to a bar, right? And he speaks Portuguese, Dean Lister. He goes to a bar in Europe, and I forget if it was supposed to be in the Czech Republic or where Pat spent some time or somewhere like that. I think it was a country that was supposed to be behind the Iron Curtain back in the day. But anyways, he goes in there and he sees a bartender just wearing a Brazilian like track jacket or something, and he's like, "Oh, are you from Brazil?" You know, so they start speaking Portuguese, whatever. But she's like a hot girl in a bar of like 45 dudes all drinking. Yeah. So he's like, "Okay, I'll work my Portuguese magic on her." He does that for a little while, but of course she's not swayed just by the fact he speaks Portuguese. So at the end of the night, like the bar's closing down, and he's like, "Oh," like he notices she has the same phone as him, right? Like he looks behind the bar and sees she has the same phone, and she's got her phone charging right there. So he grabs his phone, he pulls his phone out, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm so sorry, but my phone is dead, and I need to make a call so I can, so I can get back and get to my hotel room and go to bed. Do you mind if I use your charger for a second?" And so she's like, "Okay." So she hands him the end of the charger, right? Like so he can charge his phone. So he writes down his hotel and his hotel room on a note. And then he grabs her charger and says, "Okay, just come get in my hotel room," and runs out the door. Takes off with her charger.
Oh my god.
And then he tells the story. He tells the whole story about what happens to the point she gets to his hotel room and like this whole thing about how he I think he went and like jumped in the shower or something. And then anyways, he told a bunch of these stories on this recent like interview / podcast. And every time you get to the very end where things start happening, you'd be like, and then it turned into a lovely evening. Or whatever. But apparently he's still the deal with this bartender based on his charger theft.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that was pretty smart.
Well, that should be pretty interesting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dude, tell us about your new job and everything in town.
Cool.
Yeah, so if listeners don't know, I used to be partners with these guys. I helped start up the Salt Lake Grappling Club.
Oh, yeah.
After these guys have been teaching me jiu-jitsu since 2007-ish. And then I'm a longtime Air Force guy, and I kind of decided to take the jump and follow my other passion, which is brewing beer. So I got a job up in Victor, Idaho, at a place called Grand Teton Brewing Company. And I'm basically in like an apprentice brewer position there. So through the summer, I've been working my way through the whole brewery, learning all the processes, and then we're going to start actually doing some brewing after the like super busy summer season tapers off here. So
that's badass, dude.
Pretty nice little change of lifestyle from a city or from what is there like 3 million on the Wasatch Front here or something to that effect to a little town with like 600 full-time residents. And,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's very cool, especially going from the military to like brewing.
Yeah, big change, huge change. The culture shift. We were talking a little bit earlier. It's been kind of shocking to try to deal with things that I'm not accustomed to dealing with in terms of interpersonal relationships.
That's cool. Victor's an interesting town.
It really is.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful, pretty scenic.
It's unbelievably beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar, it's everybody's seen the Grand Tetons, the inspiration point on Jenny Lake. It's one of the most photographed spots in America. So if you can imagine the classic mountain picture with the 3 majestic peaks overlooking that lake, I'm basically on the backside of that, and just very, very alpine. It's like 6,500 feet. Like you're wearing hoodies all summer. There's no real summer. Like everyone's saying, there's like you get winter, and the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, quiet, slow. But the weird thing about it is like, you're right next to Jackson, which is really, a lot of wealth, a lot of high-end actors and businessmen, and like sort of like a retreat sort of place.
Dick Cheney and his Halliburton ducats.
Yeah, and the Walton family.
Oh yeah, Walmart.
Yeah, the Wall's daughter I think lives there. She's got massive acreage, and then just 20 miles away, you have Victor, and Victor's like this, like really small, like legitimate small town.
Yeah.
It is.
Settled by Mormons, and there's still all these Mormon farmers there. And then nestled in amongst all the Mormon farmers are like a couple of golf courses and like a bunch of ski bums and a ton of fly fisher guys.
Yeah.
And you know, it's an interesting little pot. And what was crazy, like, so I grew up in Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
being completely anonymous everywhere I go. Within like a week, I was recognizing people everywhere I went. You go to the market, there's one market in town. After a week, you know all the faces. Go to the bar, you know everybody. It's like there's no way to be anonymous. Even after like a few days, people know that you live there.
Oh yeah.
And your business, all your business is known.
Yeah, the setup you got up there now is pretty nice. The house you're in, there's like a stream right behind your house. And
Oh yeah. Have you fished the stream yet?
No, but I was going to tell you guys, we didn't get to this point. I just bought a rod this week.
Oh, nice.
So I got my 10 car set up. It showed up on Wednesday. Yeah.
Which one did you buy?
I got the Wet Fly,
Okay.
or Wet Fly brand 10
Okay.
car.
Dude,
So-
tell people what that is.
So 10 car, and I'm not by no means an expert on this.
You've actually got one, so you're like in the top 1%.
Yeah, I'm in the small
of 10
percent.
car rods.
Everybody who fly fishes seems to know that it exists. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a style of fly fishing that the Japanese have done and forever, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's really, really simple because there's no reel. It's basically just a stick. And so learning to fish with it is really, really simple because learning to cast, like Pat was pointing out to me, is like you basically just point your finger on the pole and the line's going to basically go where you want to. Whereas with fly fishing, you have to learn some.
Yeah, there's like
more
some
technique.
rhythm and
Yeah, it's like the presentation of the fly is so much more delicate with the 10 car rod because you got like first of all it's like way longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mine's 13 feet. It seemed like when I
Yeah.
stretched it out, I was like, damn, this is huge.
Way longer than a normal fly rod, and then you got like a different type of leader on there usually, and it's got way more sensitivity. It's crazy. I wish more regular fly fishermen would actually like use one. Then they'd understand like how different it is. Because I think a lot of them just think like, oh, you guys are too lazy to use reels.
Yeah. Well, so when I knew I moved to fly fishing Mecca, so I knew it was inevitable I was going to get into fishing.
Yeah.
And at our brewery we have a small pub attached, and when we get off work we hang out and drink.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say we drink, but we have a couple of beers before we go.
Yeah.
And there's just guides every day. So I've talked to a ton of guides. I've talked to both of you guys, I think, about if I'm going to get into fly fishing, is this a legitimate way to go about it?
Yeah.
And surprisingly, like all those pro guys were very way into it.
Well, that really surprises me, dude.
Yeah, there was only a couple, and one of our mutual friends was really, really anti simple fly fishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, former member, very tall member of our club.
Oh.
I think the biggest fly fishing buff you probably know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I hit him up on Facebook about it.
D-man.
And yeah, the D-man. He went on a tirade about how lame and what a pussy I would be if I took it up.
fuck you, Dave.
Yeah, Dave. That's how it was like back in the day. I remember going into, I won't say the name of a fly shop, but a fly shop really close to where we are now. And I had a 10 car rod at that time, and I was going to talking to them about it, and they were pretty dismissive at that time. Like, they weren't really like super vitriolic or anything about it, but they were just kind of like 10 car, whatever.
Right.
Now they sell them.
Do they really?
Yeah, they sell them now.
Oh God, that's
they
true.
supply,
That's true reversal.
Yeah, they supply the guides. They're the only guys who do guiding for 10 car fishing in Utah. They supply all their clients with waders.
They rent them rods. Oh, they rent them. Did they rent the rods too, or just waders?
Waders and stuff. But I think they sell rods. I'm almost positive they sell rods now. So
yeah,
it's starting to catch on. It's super fun. You'll have a good time. Have you got any flies yet?
Yeah, so that was what was sweet about the setup. And also the other cool thing about Tenkara, for people who maybe don't know, is it collapses, right? So it collapses in this little package. It's about maybe a little over a foot long and weighs almost nothing. So I'm stoked for it for backpacking.
Yeah.
It's literally no weight to throw on.
Yeah.
6 or 8 ounces. I don't know. It's super light. And being able to fish all those streams while you're out. I just think that's brilliant.
Dude, yeah, I backpacked one in last Saturday, 4.2 miles up to like 10,000 feet, and caught like, I don't know how many fish I caught. I don't know, 6 fish that night and like 6 next morning. Little tiny mountain fish. Oh, so the other cool thing is if you're catching small fish in small streams, it feels awesome on a Tenkara rod because you're so sensitive.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
the setup I bought came with all the lines and everything.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I don't really know what it is.
It
came with 3 different types.
Okay. Is there like a braided one, a flat one, and then a third one?
I haven't busted them open.
Okay.
But there's one that's like connected to the rod from very tip. Is that the braided one that you're talking about?
Is it like a little short one like this?
Yeah, like 1.5 inches or something.
Okay, yeah, they'll all connect to that with like a little, just kind of loop them.
Yeah, there is the braided one that already has a loop built into it, I think.
Yeah, that's probably the furled lead. That's like I use. Those are awesome, dude.
Yeah, and then it came with a little bamboo box, like yay big, that has like 12 different flies in it or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that'll get you started.
Are they all like Are they like Western style, or are they like the Kabari ones? Do the hairs go out?
I
okay.
opened it and I went, oh cool, flies, and shut up. I have no idea.
Dude, the cool thing is any fly will work on a Tenkara rod.
Yeah.
Like I fished all weekend with every fish I caught on Saturday was with regular Western flies. Everything works. Nibs, dry flies, it all works awesome.
Cool. Some guys get like super into the like.
There's a little bit of Japanese
LARPing.
There's a little LARPing going on.
Like they have special.
You can buy like $150 handmade.
They have these like bamboo
like
nets that are super ugly.
Handmade nets.
And then they're
pretty cool. But
they all make these like traditional Japanese flies that are super ugly.
I read about that. There's like the Japanese use one type of fly, right?
Yeah.
Traditional.
So when Tenkara first came to the US, there was like this one company this is so weird, but it's one company in San Francisco run by a Brazilian kid. And he hooked up with this guy in Japan who's like, they kind of like marketed him as the living legend of Tenkara in Japan. And so that guy, it was really interesting they hooked up with him because his whole thing is like, it should be as simple as possible. So he goes to the dollar store in his neighborhood in Japan and makes this fly that's called the something Kabari, like Sakase Kabari.
Yeah.
And he makes it out of thread from the dollar store and like regular hooks. But it looks exactly like all the other flies. But now they sell like 6 different types, and they all look pretty much the same. They have like something coming out like this.
Isn't he the guy who he told them like if he wants to be a dry fly, he just flicks all the water out of it?
Yeah, if he's fishing on top or if he's nymphing, he just like goes like this and dries the fly and throws it on top. If he's nymphing,
just gets it wet.
He gets it wet and fishes it underneath the same fly.
Yeah.
He used to use like a whole bunch of different flies, and then the last 10 or 15 years, he's used one fly, and he says the difference in the fish he's caught has been 0. He catches exactly the same fish with one fly as he did with a multitude before.
Crazy.
Which I think is awesome, because there's also guys in Japan who I'm sure fish Tenkara with a million different flies. They could have hooked up those guys, and they would have been selling like 36 different flies, and of course
it's kind of like the guys here, they all like guys get crazy.
It's like Tom McGuane said.
Yeah.
Tom McGuane, the guy who wrote A River Runs Through It, I think, read the original story or whatever, he said that like 99% of fish can be caught with a parachute Adams or a hare's ear.
Yeah.
And he's like, the rest of it is just like for the fishermen to please themselves.
Like 90% of the fish I catch when I'm fly fishing is hare's ear, prince nymph, underneath, and then on top it's like El Caracatus or Parachute Adams.
Yeah,
it's pretty much
Copper Johns.
Copper Johns sometimes, but it's like those 4, and it like never changes any time of the year. Basically, like the size of them might change, and then like I know one guy who got really into throwing streamers, like wood buggers that are just like these big flies that have a bunch of hair on them,
like simulate like a minnow.
Yeah, they're just like pretty big. And he got into, and they call it streamer fishing. He got into that, and he would just use like the same streamer the entire time and pull out hogs.
Wow.
just like all day.
Dude, Paige has got the ultimate Tenkara setup though, because right outside his back door, he's got the like probably the absolute perfect Tenkara string.
Yeah,
right in his backyard.
based on the pictures, it looks like the best Tenkara string ever.
So we had to chase it down. It's completely dry right now.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I didn't know that goes dry.
Well, so the actual creek that we were just on like a little tributary.
Oh.
That looks like, and I haven't chased it down to where it reconnects, but I found where it comes off a larger creek
Right.
that doesn't dry out through the summer.
How
And
far
it's
away
still
is that?
The 1/8 of a mile.
An eighth of a mile.
But it looks pretty legit. Sarah and I have both spotted some fish up in there, so
Dude.
we never saw any right in our backyard.
Dude, it looked awesome in pictures. It looks like a shoal fish.
It looked maybe there is, and like, you know, earlier in the year we weren't really looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so probably during this week I'll probably walk up.
Yeah, it's gonna be really easy to get off work every night and like
just go
walk,
fish for a half hour.
Oh my god.
walk like 200 yards and
Yeah.
go fish.
Yeah.
Like pretty easy. Then when you
Pretty
start,
legit.
when you start catching fish and like cooking them every night,
Yeah.
then you'll just be like, you'll become obsessed with it.
Oh yeah.
You'll
Dude.
become like, you'll fall into that world like so
Yeah.
fast.
It's so funny. 'Cause, like,
Believe it.
any fly fisherman anywhere in that part of Idaho or Wyoming would like cut his left. Anybody would cut their left nut off just to go live there. But
Yeah.
then Paige not only lives there, but he lives right by a stream.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's dumb luck too.
Yeah. No, man, that's good.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like when I was in college, I fished so much, and there was like days that I started keeping track, and there was like a couple years where I got like 100 days in, and I kind of got burned out on it, and like it was like I took a year and like didn't fish at all, or I fished 1 or 2 times, and then now like there's a couple guys at our club who like to go fly fish, and they're always bugging us, and I'm just like, no, I got something else going on, and then like I'll finally go, and as soon as I hook up with the first fish of the day, I'm like, oh fuck, this is why I do this. Like this is fun.
Dude, there's more. Come on. Okay.
Yeah, they're so light. That's just
Yeah.
blows me away.
Yeah, the fly fishing thing, it's amazing, especially like when you have like the access like Paige does. It's so easy to just like fish 10 hours per week and think that you're like you're controlling yourself. Like you're controlling the fish and you're only fishing 10 hours per week.
Oh, yours is an actual like 10 car. I would say that's cool.
It's almost identical. Yeah, see how they're all
That's just
small.
And then it just
Amazing.
telescope. This is like a little cork top. Then it'll just telescope out to. Is yours 12 and 13?
That one's 12 or 12 and a half, I think. Yeah.
Oh, it says right there, 12 foot. Yeah, so that just telescopes out to 12 feet.
Yeah, they're awesome. The line just ties on the end, no guides to get hung up on when you're casting.
And they're so light, it just kills me. Like,
Awesome, right?
Yeah.
so easy.
Yeah,
I have almost the exact same like case. You're like
Oh yeah, I'll bet.
case and soft shell.
Yeah.
Sort of. Do you always use both? Like when you go out?
I usually just throw that case in my backpack. I leave this thing on just so I don't scratch it up too much. But yeah.
Sweet.
Best thing about fishing is like even like there are guys who are like super hardcore fly fishermen who live in completely urban settings too. It's weird. Like I'll go on the fly fishing forums and there'll be guys who live like in the middle of like weird super urban cities, and they have some pond that parked in their house that's stocked.
Yeah.
And they're like fly fishing every single night, like 6 months per year or something.
Doesn't Steven Ranella talk about that in Meat Eater?
I
There was like a city that had a river running through it where he grew up.
Oh, or was it when he was in college in Michigan?
Yeah, when he was in college.
Or somewhere, and they used to go catch salmon,
Yeah.
like in
Oh,
Steelhead or something,
Yeah.
like every day.
And it was like right in the city.
Yeah, definitely. Like I know.
I met a guy in upstate New York a guy from upstate New York at a bar, and he was telling me all.
Syracuse.
He was telling me all about how he used to fish right in the middle of town. He's like, there'd be ditches this wide, and they were catching, I think he said steelhead.
Yeah.
So steelhead are just like sea-run rainbows, little big salmon though. And he's like, they'd be this big, and the ditch is this wide.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's amazing.
My buddy up in Tacoma, he was like, he fished a ton down here when he was younger, and then he moved up there and he was like, fuck, the salmon are running. He's like, I'm just gonna go down and fish, like, for salmon. Like, just wanted to get out of the house, basically. Didn't have any expectations. And I guess he just, like, it's like right by Tacoma, like right in the middle of town or something type of deal. And there's like, millions of people fishing, but he just went down and like slayed them, just like limited it out in like a couple hours.
Wow.
Like 8 salmon that night. And he said it was like amazing, best salmon he's ever had.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, oh, fuck.
That's badass.
And it's crazy, in Idaho, in central Idaho, they actually get kings running all the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
true. Yeah.
On like the salmon, and like there's a bunch of in central Idaho. There's a bunch of rivers that get kings. Like if you go on YouTube, you'll like see tons of videos of dudes in like central Idaho fucking catching king salmon.
It's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's so far
it's
in.
so hard to think
Yeah.
what they would have to go through to get there.
Yeah.
Right?
That's nuts.
It's insane.
They almost on the Loxa River in northern Idaho. It's about level with Missoula. They almost get to Montana. They almost get all the way to fucking Montana.
Oh, kind of like up at the Panhandle. Right?
Yeah, closer to the Panhandle. I mean, Missoula's not too far up there, is it? I don't think so.
I actually lived outside
Outside Missoula.
for 6 months. Here there, or 2
It's
months.
like 6 weeks.
Oh, was that short time?
Yeah, it was like
Oh,
it was a really short time. Can take the isolation.
Dude, this can be awesome, man. You could spend so much time fishing.
Yeah, well, there's so many places that are within a half an hour. Like Ashton is a half hour away. Island Park, 40 minutes away. There's
Palisades.
Fucking Snake is right over the pass.
Oh yeah, Snake, 30 minutes.
Yeah. I fished
And I know a bunch of guys that have drift boats and stuff too. So before long,
That's
I'll be
awesome.
drifting.
That'll be fun.
That'd be cool.
I don't know if you can do that like successfully with a 10
Tank car, I'd be kind of questionable.
The guy,
Snake, for sure.
the one guy who runs the Tenkara guy company here, he goes on the green in drift boats and he fucking kills it.
Really?
Yeah, that guy's
Green's
super
quite a bit
hardcore.
slower,
Yeah.
I've definitely caught some big browns on this one on the Weaver, on the middle Weaver. So it takes I think they take way more than people expect. They take way bigger fish than people expect. But Snake though, Jesus, there's sturgeon in them waters.
Yeah, right. Well, there's just like a million little creeks and tributaries all through Teton Valley, so there's plenty of stuff to go explore, and plenty of especially like higher alpine streams and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, dude, it's
those are
perfect country for
fun.
Tenkara.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, the high alpine streams, the mountain streams are definitely like my favorite to fish.
It's so much more fun.
Yeah,
you
the
can fish.
smaller
You can
ones.
catch more on dries,
Yeah.
which is more fun. You see what's going on. Oh my god,
Yeah.
so awesome. Okay, these guys don't care about fly fishing. Some guy who just go into grappling every day in Slovenia, he doesn't give a damn about fly fishing. Let's talk about grappling. Let's talk about grappling. So Paige moved up to this awesome, idyllic, alpine-ish place in Idaho. Tell us about the training scene up there.
yeah, so this was a big concern to me, like if I could sustain my grappling while chasing my little beer brewing dream.
Yeah, Paige is like he's like a hardcore grappler guy. Like he trains a lot normally.
Yeah, I was training a lot.
Yeah, normally he trains a lot.
So in this little T town, that was like one of the very first things once I accepted the job. I was like, all right, number 2, food, shelter, fine. Now let's get into grappling. So I started doing some internet searches, and there was clearly like a judo scene going on around there. So I started emailing some folks and found a judo place in Driggs, which is like 8 miles away from Victor.
Yeah.
Same valley, short little drive.
Land of Napoleon Dynamite.
Well, a little further north.
That's Preston.
Preston,
right?
yeah.
General area of Napoleon Dynamite, though.
Yeah. If you want to think of it that way.
That's not really what it's like. That's not at all what it's like. But
At any rate, I emailed these guys and I was like, hey, I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappler and submission grappler. I would love to come train judo if that's the only sort of grappling that I can do here. And they wrote me back immediately and said, no, we have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program that just started up. So these guys had started this jiu-jitsu program basically like within a couple of weeks of the time that I moved up there. So, that was cool. I went in and rolled with them one night, had a couple of decent purple belts and a blue belt, and, I handled myself pretty well with them. One sort of lead instructor, we had a no-gi roll, and beforehand I was like, hey, how do you feel about footlocks and stuff? And at first he was like, we don't really do that in this club, and the response you would expect from somebody that comes out of a very Gracie style jiu-jitsu background.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's cool. So we basically had a pretty decent roll, and it was 50-50. No subs. Just lots of transitions. Really, like it would have been a fun roll to watch, I think, because we were pretty equal in skills.
Awesome.
And it's like one of those like really fluid, like all over the place, feeling each other out sort of rolls.
Yeah.
And then the next time I go in, he was like, hey, I thought about that footlock thing, and I want to be open to everything, so, go ahead. And so when we rolled, I was tapping him all over the place with footlocks.
Awesome.
Because he didn't know how to defend them and anything.
Man, that's so awesome you ran into somebody who's so open-minded.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
And then, so I was worried about it because I was like, this guy's feelings are probably going to be hurt. He's probably going to come back and say, okay, we don't do footlocks now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he called me like 2 or 3 days later, and he's like, hey, do you want to come be our no-gi instructor? And really, I just want to learn footlocks from you.
Awesome.
So can you take over our Friday class? And so that was really cool.
Yeah.
Completely blown away by the open-mindedness.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I'm leaving out names and affiliations,
Yeah.
But he turns out to be a really fucking cool guy.
Yeah.
And we're having great rolls, and it's really fun to get to teach those guys. And then after I started teaching, he found out that I was really into 10th Planet because I was throwing the lockdown on him all the time. And then the more comfortable I got with him, I'm starting to hit electric chairs and starting to hit a lot of 10th Planet techniques on him. And so then it's come into being like not just footlock instruction, but can you teach me everything that you know about 10th Planet and yada yada. So it's been pretty fun to see like a hardcore Gracie guy kind of be really accepting of these like out of the box grappling styles.
Man, that's so rare too.
It's
like,
so rare.
When you first kind of described that, I was so surprised because I was like, especially given the affiliation of those guys, I was like,
right,
man, no way, you ran into like the 1 in a million guy.
Oh yeah, the unicorn.
Yeah,
the IBJJF unicorn. Right?
That's so awesome.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy, and I'm pretty stoked to be working with him. It is what it is, and to get any mat time at all in a little teeny ski remote like ski bum fish bum town. I'm just stoked on anything, and I didn't get stuck just doing judo. So
yeah, that's a huge step up, right? Kicking straight judo.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which isn't going to help my no-gi game. You know what I mean? All due respect to judo players.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm about.
Yeah. How many breakfast places do they have in Victor and Driggs now? So like one in Victor, one in Driggs.
No. Okay, so.
Because I know fishermen definitely go to breakfast a lot. It seems like.
Right.
Flight
well,
fishermen.
The best place is in Wilson.
Oh, really?
Nora's Fish House Inn or something to that effect.
Okay.
That's like the real diner. But there's a couple places in Victor now. There's a place called Scratch, which is like these ski bum couple, and they don't. These guys they're so hippie, man. They don't even have a schedule. Right? They don't say like open at 9. They're like open when we're done skiing, or like if it's a powder day, just not even open. But,
so they're just open when they're there.
When they're there,
and you don't really know.
And it's basically in their house, right? Like it's awesome. Like the kind of shit you can only pull off in a little town in Idaho, right?
Dude, yeah, this is exactly how Central Virginia was. UVA, there were bars that were built in like things that should have been houses.
Exactly.
And everyone would go, and it was totally normal.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's how these guys are. So that place is pretty legit. And then there's a place that does like donuts and kind of like breakfast sandwiches, but not so great.
Okay.
Then the Victor Valley Market, you guys probably know, it's right on the corner, right next to World Cast Anglers. Anyway, so it's like the one market in town. They have
Okay.
the best freaking breakfast sandwich ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's probably the best place to get breakfast.
Ooh.
Then there's a legit breakfast place across the way called the Station, I think.
Okay.
And then there's a place called Spoons that does breakfast.
Well, there's a lot now.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And then the Brakeman. Have you guys been to the Brakeman? The
Yeah.
famous burger joint?
Oh yeah.
So apparently the owner is like a little bit of an insomniac, and sometimes he'll like just wake up at 2 in the morning and go prep everything for the day.
Yeah.
And so when he does that, he throws a sign out front and he does breakfast sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
And they're epic. They're like 12. They're like a foot long breakfast. Like you can feed like 4 people with it. You know.
Wow. Is it like, what is it inside? Is it inside bread or tortilla or?
Yeah, he does. It's bread.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
the like sourdough kind of like
Oh, nice.
like hamburger sourdough kind of bun. Like
Dude, that sounds good.
yeah, it's pretty legit, and you know it's got usually burger or sausage and bacon and everything like. But it's just it's
That
magnificent.
sounds good.
Nice.
How about the dinner places? Is there still a place called the Bank or something like that up there?
No,
Maybe that's gone. Or I could have the name screwed up on that.
the bank. Yeah, nothing rings a bell at the bank. But I mean the Naughty Pine. That's the
Okay.
place that's been around since '68 or whatever.
Okay,
It's that old
yeah.
cabin thing right in the middle of Main Street.
Yeah.
In fact, we ate there on just like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, that's not too far, I think, from our great aunt's place.
She's kind of in town then.
Yeah, oh yeah. She's like she's right out there.
Yeah.
What's the little there's like a little motel. I don't know if it's still there, but there's like a little tiny motel. It's kind of like it's maybe like 10 rooms, right off. It's a little bit, I guess it'd be west of Main Street. It might still have a green roof even.
Huh.
No, I'm
It's
talking
not
about
the Roadhouse, right? The Cowboy Roadhouse.
maybe I don't think there's like a restaurant or anything attached to it. It's just like a little tiny motel with maybe like a few rooms. That might be the name of it now. She lives pretty close to there.
Huh. It's not. That
Oh.
sounds like Driggs. Like there's a
No,
place called
no,
The
no.
Pines in Driggs.
Definitely in Victor.
Huh.
I'll have to look at a map. We'll have to look at a map and then I can show you on a map.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if it's still. You know what? I wonder if it might have been repurposed.
might have been knocked down and
'Cause
turned into something else.
I think I know what you might be talking about. It looks like an old motel, but it's like a couple of restaurants and stuff.
That would make sense.
And it's on
yeah.
that west side.
Yeah, it's just like west of Main Street probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember right.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
to look it up.
Yeah, I'll look at the map.
Yeah, but there's some good breakfast. In Driggs, there's a really good bagel place called the Big Roll. And they do like full-on breakfast stuff and then
yeah.
bagels and bagel sandwiches and all of that sort of. That's about it in Driggs. Like, they have less breakfast stuff going on than we do.
That makes sense to me because I was thinking to myself, like, okay, if a lot of the, like, sort of seasonal tourist clientele are fly fishermen, there's going to be a lot of breakfast because those motherfuckers get up early and eat breakfast if they go fishing and shit.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah.
basically not eating until you get off the river again.
Yeah,
right?
they like have to eat because they're going to go fish all day until they can't function anymore. So
Yeah.
that's like the worst feeling when you like haven't had a good morning fishing. Like I'm not a morning person, so I don't fish in the morning often. But when I do, when I have a bad morning fishing, like when you wake up that early, you go fishing and you don't catch a lot of fish, you're just like pissed off at the world, right? And you like won't quit because you're convinced, like even though now it's like 11 a.m. and the sun is beating down,
One more cast.
there are no hatches, there's nothing coming off the river, no fish. You're just like, I'm gonna beat these fish to death. They come down my line. I'm just gonna beat the water to death.
I'm just gonna wait out and choke one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the fishing's dude. I mean, like a person up there, a person could like start fishing and just like devote their life to it for like 20 years, and just disappear into fishing for 2 decades.
Dude, I've got a great story just along those exact lines.
Okay.
So my cousin, who grew up in LaBarge Creek, Wyoming, which is a nothing little town that my family homesteaded way back in the day, right?
Oh, nice.
So he grew up in this little teeny town, right, and kind of went off and became this massive adventurer. He owned a fishing boat in Alaska. He owned a restaurant in Maui. Like, he's been around.
Dude, this guy's a badass.
He is a badass. He's kind of been like one of my heroes that I looked up to all my life.
Yeah.
Because he's just a vagabond, you know. He just lived life the way he wanted to.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, when I was like 13, 14, he lived in Jackson. I used to go ski with him. He used to take me down these terrifying runs. You know what I mean? And just like, come on, kid, you know.
Would you guys go to Jackson Hole? Or?
Yeah, we go to Jackson Hole.
Awesome. Okay.
And so, anyway, he's been a big inspiration to me my whole life. And then he's getting ready to move to Minnesota with his wife to go take care of her parents. So he bought a motorcycle, and he's like, I'm going to go cruise the West. This is my last chance.
And you're a moto guy.
I'm a motorcycle guy. He knows that. I don't have a bike anymore, but...
Yeah.
So he bought it on eBay and flew up to Spokane to pick it up.
What kind of motorcycle?
He bought the Suzuki V-Strom.
V-Strom's good like touring bike.
Great like sport touring bike.
Yep.
Perfect choice for him. He's an older dude, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Not too crazy, but it's the 1000, I think.
Yep.
If they have them that big.
Yep.
I don't know a lot about them.
Totally, yeah.
So he buys this thing off eBay for like $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like 5,000 miles on it. Kick-ass.
What?
Yeah. He scores, right?
Awesome.
So he calls me. He's like, hey, I just bought this motorcycle. I'm going to drive it back to Salt Lake. I'm going to spend a few weeks. Can I come visit you? I was like, oh, yeah, of course.
Sweet.
So we sit down, and he's telling me about the time that he lived in Island Park, right?
Okay.
Right up the way, huge fishing place, and he was not a fisherman.
Okay.
He was building shit at this time. He's always been kind of like a carpenter guy. Like that's been one of his many jobs.
Okay.
So he wound up getting this gig to build a bar in Island Park for this guy.
Build a whole bar.
Build a bar. It was an existing structure, but some dude bought it and had a liquor license and wanted a beer bar, so he built the bar for this guy.
Badass.
Right?
Yeah, totally badass.
Over the course of the summer, he was given a trailer in the back. There's like 6 trailers there, and everyone that lives there is a fly fishing guide, right? So as he's building this bar, they're all drinking together, and he ends up like, learning how to fly fish. And the guy that was building the bar learns how to fly fish too. He wasn't a fisherman.
Yeah.
Ends up saying, I love fishing more than anything. Fuck this bar. They build it, he sells the bar. He ends up being a guide for 30 fucking years.
Oh.
So check this out. So the main reason my cousin wanted to come through Victor is because he's on his way to Jackson.
Yeah.
Because this dude calls him 30 years later, out of the blue. He's like, hey, I'm going to make my last run. You got me into fly fishing. I've been guiding for 30 years. Me and you are going on my final fishing trip.
Are they going to go in a dory, like a jerk boat?
I don't even know.
Oh, it's just some kind of fly fishing trip.
Yeah, I don't even know.
That's epic.
Isn't that fucking beautiful?
That's the definition of epic.
Yeah. Awesome. So he just like gets into fishing and says, fuck it, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. And then does.
And that's the guy who was supposed to be building the bar.
Yeah. He just says, fuck it, I don't want to be a bar owner. And my cousin calls him out of the blue fucking 30 years later, like, dude, you got me into this shit. We're going on the last trip.
Jesus.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
Oh, that was wild.
Yeah, that's totally crazy. I can see that because when we were fly fishing a lot, like it was so crazy because you go on these like blogs and you see guys take pictures, these beautiful pictures of just like it would just be a brown trout or just like a rainbow trout, and it's like even just the pictures of the like really good pictures of the fish with like the water. Like a picture of like the fish and like the water would be like changing the way the colors are represented by the camera, and then half the fish is out of the water, and it's like so evocative of all these feelings you get when you're fishing. Because like that feeling when you, especially like pretty much any fly, but especially a dry fly, when you throw a dry fly and a fish takes it, even if it's a small fish, like that feeling, it feels like the best description I've ever heard is like electricity in your hand. Like you feel this animal take something that you're physically connected to. Like you're holding a handle, it's connected to a rod, it's connected to a leader, it's connected to the tippet, it's connected to a fly, and there's a wild fucking beast that lives in water on the other end of this thing you're attached to, and it feels like electricity in your hand. It's a really weird feeling. Like a wild beast that maybe has never been like interfacing with a human before, and all of a sudden you are very connected to it, and it's for them, it's even if you're going to release them, it's a life and death battle.
Yeah.
And for you, it's like equal emotional investment.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that, like, even though I've never fly fished, I've done, like, whatever you call rod and reel fishing.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid.
Same thing.
That's
exactly.
Like, that's such a good description for that little tug and that this, like, feeling of something very alive on the other hand. That's
The people who've never fished before watching this are like, oh my god, please stop talking about fishing.
Yeah.
They're like trying to hit the escape button, like stop button as quick as they can. But man, it's like, especially when you're on like this beautiful river, especially if you live like in a place like Salt Lake where it's like it's not a huge city, but it's like, it's like an urban city. There's urban elements to it. And then you could drive like 1 hour and you're on this river. Like my favorite place to fish is this river, and there's like a lot of horse property and like cattle property on the shores of the river. And there's no humans. I go there and fish, and it's just like me, the brown trout, maybe a few cutthroats or something, maybe a few whitefish, and then there's like horses and cows. And it's just like, you're just like there and you're like, I'm going to battle the wild beasts today.
Yeah. Like any sort of hunting and gathering,
Yeah.
it's really primordial. Like,
Yeah.
there's something deep in our DNA that just knows we're doing the right thing. Like, this is what you're born to do, bro.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be in a supermarket. You're supposed to be out there bringing in your own food,
Yeah, the only people I've taken fishing who didn't want to catch the fish, like everybody I've taken fishing, like even if they had nothing to do with fishing or any kind of hunting or anything having to do with the wilds or the outdoors, like every single person has really wanted to catch the fish once they were actually fishing, except for Buddhists. Buddhists don't want anything the fuck to do with hurting the fish. But
Or eating it, right?
Yeah, or eating it, or anything to do with catching the fish. But aside from Buddhists, like every single person, like you could take somebody who lived their whole life in Manhattan and just played chess in the park every single day of their life, put them in a fucking river in waders, have them cast, especially a tenkara rod, have them cast onto a fish that's been rising onto flies, and they're gonna want to catch that fish.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's like primordial thing inside them. Like, it's amazing. It's awesome. Okay.
I also think that grappling follows right into that.
It's the same thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's really cool to see new guys come in and get into it, and they just like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's different for different guys. Like some guys, it really scares them, I think, but they do it anyways, and they keep coming back. And then some guys kind of realize what it is, and they just like, it catches hold of them. Like we had a guy just start, and he's been in like 4 times this week already. And
Brad, right?
Yeah, he's super into
Yeah.
it, super into it.
It's so weird too because like a guy like Brad, like played rugby for 17 years, wrestled. We can kind of guess he's gonna like grappling.
Yeah.
But then you got other guys like Jeff Rogers. Like Jeff Rogers, like you look at his like sort of resume or whatever, and you're like, maybe he'll like it, maybe he won't. And you never know what guys are just gonna be like, man, I like the raw nature of this. This thing is so real and so intense. Like I like that. And there's guys like Jeff, like he hasn't played rugby for 17 years at like almost pro or maybe pro level, but something about grappling like grabbed him, and he was like, man, this is like the real shit that humans are supposed to be doing, like doing battle for humans.
Yeah. So what are you guys into lately? What have you been studying grappling wise?
What have we been doing drill wise? So we've been doing this week is escapes. We've been doing the Ryan Hall triangle escape.
Oh, nice.
We've been doing the hitchhiker armbar escape.
Yes.
Our drills this month are
Back escapes,
back escapes,
Japanese neckties,
Japanese necktie,
Nice.
damn good guard triangle,
damn good guard triangle, and then
hill hook from bottom out.
yeah, hill hook from bottom now.
Yeah, so
Nice.
dude, yeah. What else? What have we been looking at? Like techniques we've been looking at. God, I'm trying to think. I've been trying to pay more attention to, sort of like it seems like it. Not to like get too much into all the 10th Planet stuff, but it seems like there's like this like shift in 10th Planet going on, and it's like almost like there's this whole camp of 10th Planet guys. I mean, there's always been guys who are looking for something other than the main path of rubber guard, but it seems like there's a really strong push towards Dead Orchard and all the muddy water stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm still not fully convinced that I understand the difference between brackish waters and muddy waters.
I'm with you.
I've watched those videos so many times, and I still don't understand the utility of brackish waters over muddy waters, but I think there's definitely something in muddy waters, because I've been using muddy waters quite a bit, and like that makes sense to me. And it's like, muddy water seems like kind of complicated, but I think it's really not. It's like one of those evolutions that produces greater simplicity almost.
Yeah.
And it ties in with Dead Orchard really well, so you get those arm bars so well. So I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah. It's been interesting to watch. I don't know if we should get too.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's do it.
So I don't know if you guys have noticed this kind of transition.
Every podcast.
Let's do it right now. Let's get
I'm calling you out on this, Eddie. So there was like this Eddie Bravo period where he played really into Marcelo Garcia techniques.
Oh yeah.
Right? And like they were getting into all the drills.
Yep.
And it was the techniques he was teaching more often.
Mm-hmm.
And then recently, have you noticed like a very strong comeback of all the rubber guard stuff?
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden it was like M1, M2, M3. Yep. And now it's like Get Orchard, all this.
Very strong comeback to the rubber guard. Pretty interesting transition. And the new MTS I just watched the other day.
Go-go clinch.
It's all go-go clinch.
Yeah.
And I really just kind of barely watched it. Didn't pay that much attention. It's not really my style. It's never been one of my go-to sort of things. But it's interesting to watch that transition back.
So it's almost like the Hoyler Eddie match was like a reset.
Yeah.
Right? It was like
massive validation.
Yeah. We've done everything we need to do. Like, you guys can't accept us now.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Exactly.
Like, we're just gonna do our thing, and people who are on board are on board. People who don't want to hear anything about it, they're never gonna want to hear anything about it. So interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for the future. Like, we're not, all of us are like basically Ronin. Like, we're not 10th Planet proper guys, but I'm kind of excited for the future of 10th Planet. We got guys like Gio Martinez, Boogie Martinez, Dave Orchard, and all these guys, and young kids like Cora Sack, kicking ass down in Texas.
Yeah, she's unreal.
Yeah, all this shit going on. It's like, what is 10th Planet gonna be like in 10 years? It's crazy.
Well, it's kind of cool too, is when, as you were saying all those names, I was visualizing their matches and stuff. They don't all look the same.
They don't all roll the same. Variety of stuff.
Yeah, and that's indicative to me of a very good system.
Yeah.
You can, initially I think the rubber guard was a very small system, and it was sort of like if you were a hardcore rubber guard player, you were going to do these, X amount of moves.
Everybody was going to mission control, doing the zombie, trying to do the main path stuff.
And now it's just like sponged in all these other techniques, and now you've got guys that roll completely differently, but they're the hard 10th Planet guys. I think it's genius, man.
Yeah, you got Brian Debs trying to do brackish waters every match. Then you got Adam Sachnoff, Big Red, trying to do go-go's every time. I mean, I know he does more than that, but he does a lot of go-go's. You know what I mean? And then you got some 10th Planet guys who don't do a whole lot of all that stuff. They're doing very different stuff. So they're doing. There's some guys who just do more solo stuff.
Yeah, and there's some guy like me. All I just use all the half guard stuff.
Yeah,
that's like my go-to game. I love it. I think it works, and no question, I'm on it.
Yeah.
And there are guys like that. There's guys like Kersey who are all like heel hookers.
Yeah.
Like, so it's cool to see all that variety.
Kersey was one of the first guys who listened to our podcast and gave us feedback on. He was the guy who had the feedback on the sound compression.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He contributed sound compression to our podcast.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
He's the guy in Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Petersboro, Ontario, or Petersburg. I don't know how they pronounce it.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Damn, Canadians.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, it should be exciting to see where 10th Planet goes.
Yeah.
I mean, the really cool thing is, like, because they're open, they're just like, whatever works in Nogi Grappling is a part of 10th Planet. So, I mean...
Plus all of Eddie's stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure he thinks that I'm sure his idea is that the stuff he does works in Nogi Grappling, but that's a good point. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out, because I don't think there's any grappling coach out there whose students compete in Nogi who would say, yeah, we do a bunch of stuff that doesn't work in Nogi, and we teach it in Nogi. So if theoretically they're all trying to, when they teach Nogi, they're all trying to teach stuff that works in Nogi, they should all converge on sort of a body of techniques. But it's like, the question is that going to happen like 25 years down the road, or now, or how's it all going to shake out?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of techniques are you interested in lately, Pat?
I'm still stuck on a lot of Marcelo stuff. Like,
you do a lot of thinking about takedowns too.
Yeah,
Pat thinks about takedowns a lot.
Yeah, like I pretty much have to, because it's like I'm teaching all the takedowns.
Yeah, Pat used all the takedowns.
So it's like
SLDC, so he has to develop that curriculum.
Yeah, so it's like I'm constantly going back and like relearning stuff from like my like wrestling days and trying to like develop it or like teach it that it's like easy to learn for our guys and will be applicable to grappling. So it's like I have to watch a lot of like I don't watch the correct like takedowns for grappling techniques tapes the guys put out. Most of those are super shitty. Like they just really are. Like guys are showing like really basic like singles with like no setups, and I feel like there's like as far as like teaching technique, like takedowns in grappling, there's like a really there's a lack of teaching hand fighting skills, and like everybody knows who's trying to learn takedowns that like you just doing like your tap and goes on the guy's head or whatever. Those don't get you very far against a skilled opponent. So it's like there's this like lack of understanding about hand fighting and like grappling instruction when it comes to standing on your feet. So I like spent a lot of time going over that kind of stuff and like relearning moves, getting reminded of moves, and then like trying to pick and choose and like what's gonna be good for our guys to learn, because I haven't figured out why they take to some moves so well and others they just can't pick up at all. And I don't know, maybe it's the way I'm teaching it or something, but it's like some moves like I'll teach guys and I'll think, oh, this is gonna be really good for them, and like nobody really picks it up and it's super awkward and they have like this struggle the whole way through and like no one's gonna fucking use it. And I'm like, fuck. And the next week I'll like have something and I'm just kind of like just pick it on the fly, and I'm like, I'll just teach them this, and everybody loves it, everybody's trying to use it, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? Like I put so much more effort into teaching this technique last week, and so, yeah, but as far as like on the ground, like, I'm still stuck on like hunting for guillotines. I'm trying to do more leg work, like more heel hooks. Because I kind of like, I couldn't do them for a while with the guys we had to roll with, it seemed like. Like, people weren't really, there was a lot of guys who weren't really at the level where you could really go for heel hooks too hard on them. And it's like, there's like, what I found with like coaching is like, you can only crush guys so much. Like, you gotta like, even when they're like athletic guys or something, I kind of figure out now, it's you gotta just let them go and like get them to hit transitions and try and work more instead of just like subbing them over and over again. And it's like that whole, when you start teaching, like how much can you really train yourself versus like you're training the student all the time, right? So it's like that's kind of hard. I'm kind of dealing with that right now. Is like focusing more on those guys and less on my own development. But yeah, no, like when I'm in the guard, I'm usually like trying to flower sweep or like do variations of flower sweep or butterfly sweeps. Occasionally like triangle, just kind of like pretty basic stuff in my mind. Like like my guard's pretty rudimentary, and then like half guards just like straight 10 planet stuff. Like been trying to like utilize like whipping down a lot more.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm working on that too.
Me too.
Yeah, like that was like
yeah.
that was like big improvement. I like that a lot. Whipping down, and
especially when like jaws of life just aren't working.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
You still got the head and arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
so it's
underhook on the.
So
I'm
yelling at all my guys to start doing that, and explain to them why they need to do it, just to off balance the guy and get to the whip up position from there, and just like create options and off balancing the hips, and then, like other than that, it's just like trying to get enough mat time for myself to stay sharp. But
So you don't like tap and go. Do you like tap and you cuddle?
I knew you were gonna bring some ridiculousness. You've been waiting I've been talking for like 10 minutes.
You're not gonna cuddle with her.
That was the very start of my monologue. That was like the very start of my monologue. I've been talking for like 10 minutes, and you've been fucking waiting the whole time.
You're not even gonna cuddle with her. You're just
Yeah, I can't believe
tap
it.
and go.
I don't like that.
Just smoke a cigarette
I
on the patio.
love fucking. No.
not a romantic.
That's right. No.
You need to read some Alexander Dumas.
Oh, fuck, dude.
I've been reading Alexander Dumas. These guys were very fucking romantic.
Okay. I got speaking of this. I got something pretty funny. There's a lady at my work she's older and single, and she's been on the hunt for a new man. She got rid of her boyfriend. She's been on the hunt for a new man. So this guy at my work, who's a funny motherfucker, he told her, "Oh, you should go on Plenty of Fish."
Oh no.
Oh god.
Which is like.
I'm a little worried about where this is going.
He was being serious?
Yeah, he's being serious.
Like this is good advice?
Yeah, like he's like, you should go on Plenty of Fish. She doesn't know any better. She's like 46, and so she goes on.
I support it. Damn it.
She creates a profile and all this stuff, and she comes into my office early one morning. And she's like, yeah, like I created this profile and like I've gotten like 40 emails, and it's all guys like asking me to send them pictures of my boobs and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, did you? And she's like, well, I thought about it. And so she's like, I told her, I was like, well, Plenty of Fish is more like a just get laid like sort of website. Like if you want a relationship dating website, you gotta go to like eHarmony or one that you actually have to pay for.
$60 per month.
Yeah, because it kind of weeds out like
Wait,
all the.
$60 a month?
eHarm is $60 per month.
Yeah.
Or at least it was back in the day. It might be more now.
Oh
So
my god.
That's why it's a very fertile hunting ground if you're looking for girls who are very serious about finding a guy.
Yeah.
But you are not serious about
Yeah,
finding a
definitely.
lady.
So she's still on Plenty of Fish, and today she's like telling me about this guy she's been talking to, and this dude like within like a couple days he's already sent her like a bunch of cock pics, and then he's like sending her texts of these like detailed scenarios where he's like writing erotic fiction through it, of like
But it's
what
like
he's
her
gonna-
and him, right?
Yeah, of like what he's
Oh
gonna
my
do to her.
god.
And so she fucking gave me her phone and had me read them, and they're fucking so goddamn long. And the guy sits there and fucking types them out, and they're all just like something out of
so-
like. Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask what is her, like, I'm really curious about this actually. Like, is her reaction, like, you'd expect her reaction to be revulsion, but is there an element of interest too?
Dude, she's so into it.
Oh my god.
Okay,
the
so-
cockpit guy,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so like.
Wait, as I'm thinking serial killer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They're
Like every man in the room, every man listening is probably like,
Yeah.
this dude wants to cut her up, wear her liver.
They're
like a hat.
super.
Totally.
It's,
Honest cock.
It's
That's a cock ass.
it's super fucking detailed, like romance scenarios,
But
super
she's still like, part of her still thinking about this guy as, wait, did you say she's super lewd?
no, it's super lewd.
Oh, super lewd.
Oh, lewd.
But part of her is a little lewd by this.
Oh yeah, she was
No
so
shit.
turned on by all of these like scenarios. Well, like,
What?
yeah, like the one she had me read was fucking guy like they're kissing in the rain. He, like presses her up against the car, and then it like dresses into him like finger blasting her, then bending her over, and like the dude refers to himself in the fucking text as Big Daddy.
No.
Yeah. Fucking Big Daddy. So she's fucking
God.
actually calling him Big Daddy now.
Oh,
Can is there any possibility we can find this guy and just
I'm
talk
pretty
to him?
sure.
Just talk to him about his,
I'm
like,
pretty sure. Yeah, get
oh,
this.
let's talk to him
This
about
fucking guy, he's been married 3 times.
Oh!
He has
I like it already.
He has 11 kids.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So he is Big Daddy.
Yeah.
He's not bullshitting. Like,
No.
he's gonna blast her and she's gonna
Yeah.
become her next
Oh
her
yeah.
next baby's daddy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wait,
oh,
so
baby, rubbers aren't
Oh,
romantic.
fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, so is this a Mormon guy?
No. Not a
That
Mormon
was my
guy.
first question,
Not a
too. I
Mormon
just
guy.
didn't say it.
Right?
Not a Mormon guy.
Yeah, sorry for all Utahns. Outside of Utah, you guys won't care about that. People in Utah will be like, oh, you just accused this guy of being Mormon because he had 11 kids.
Yes.
Did that.
I saw a legit polygamist at the grocery store last night.
Was she
Nice.
hot?
With the handmade clothes.
No. I saw the whole. They had the husband and then one of the wives and one of the daughters, and they had the handmade dresses on with the braided hair going down.
Yep.
I mean, they were straight like Colorado City, like driving an Audi though, nice Audi.
No shit.
Yeah, driving a nice Audi at our grocery store up here. We're not in a polygamous area at all. So they were like,
the restaurant supply dudes.
oh, okay.
They're
They're
definitely.
banking.
Yeah.
They're polygamous.
Yeah, so they were.
So for our listeners in outside of the U.S., like we're in one of the few regions of the U.S. where historically and currently there are small communities where the men take many wives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're heroes of mankind. No, yeah, it's fucking weird.
Rocky
Like,
Mountain Muslims.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, really.
This
is the grocery store right over here?
Yeah,
Is it?
Dan's.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Dan's?
Yeah.
No,
That's kind of like the super Mormon grocery store up
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just for our area though.
That's weird. That's
yeah,
weird.
for our
That blows
area.
me away.
Yeah,
'cause
I
I lived here
expect-
for, from 99
Yeah.
to this
Oh
year.
yeah, Paige lived like just kitty corner long before we lived here. Paige lived
Right
kitty
across the
corner
street. Yeah.
right over here from our place right here.
Yeah, I expect
For
that.
almost 15 years
I
in
ex-
this neighborhood. That's
Yeah.
I've never seen
I
Oh, you lived here for 15 years?
in this neighborhood.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I expect that down in like West Bountiful, Sanpete County, like
Yeah.
Utah,
Back in the day, in
Utah
Sandy
County.
did a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
Utah
when I was
Yeah.
growing
County.
up, all over the place.
I dated
There's
a
that-
girl once who grew up in a polygamous compound down in Sandy.
At the mouth of the canyon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She went to
Yeah.
that school. Warren Jeffs was like, I think it was Warren Jeffs who was like her principal at one point.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird because I associate him with Southern Utah
Yeah.
and Colorado
Yeah.
City, but
That
he
was
like,
fairly recent when they moved down there, I think.
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's crazy, though.
Yeah. She was
Fucking
nice
Yeah.
girl. She was a
Yeah,
nice girl.
they still have the compound down there at the point of the mountain.
Oh really?
Yeah, that one that's just over the line in Utah County. They have a big ass.
So if any of you parents out there thinking about becoming polygamous, you should know. This girl was very shocked. She was living in, for the people in Utah, she's living in the Avenues. So you guys know about the Avenues.
Wow.
And so she had a cool apartment in the Avenue. She went on her back patio one day. She hadn't heard from her brother in a while, one of her, like 15 brothers or whatever. And so she goes on her back patio, and all of a sudden, she sees her neighbor, who's like, like a 55, 59-year-old, kind of portly gentleman, nice enough. But he comes out of his patio in his bathrobe, and he's looking like just super awesome. Like, you can tell this dude is like super happy with his life. He's kind of stretching out and shit, just like on his patio enjoying the sun. I'm sure she's thinking to herself like, that is a person, that is a human being enjoying life. This is a beautiful thing. And then her brother comes out topless, gives him a very passionate French kiss right on the mouth.
Oh my god.
She had no idea.
The brother had no idea she lived there.
He had no idea she lived right behind him because she's one of 15 sisters.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
she's like, oh, my brother, not only does he like men, but he likes men 40 years older than him.
Oh my god,
She was a little shocked, so
that's badass.
yeah. Your children, if
Story.
you keep your children locked up in a compound, they might escape and
Or they might get driven out, which
Yeah.
is the case with those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
A
Those
lot of
guys.
young men would get driven out to decrease the competition for women.
Yeah, they're gonna escape or get driven out and do stuff you're not gonna like. So you might as well just be cool with them from the beginning and not be super crazy with them.
Well, and we watched a couple of documentaries about this lately, so I'm going to geek out for just a
So
second.
tell us about it. Tell us
So a
about it.
lot of those
Yeah.
kids were driven out of Colorado City, young kids. They are kind of lost, and what happens with a lot of them is they became drug addicts. So a lot of them would push up to Salt Lake City because it's one of the closer towns you can get to.
Wait, tell the people a little bit about Colorado City because I'm sure they don't know what the fuck's
Oh
going
yeah,
on
so that's
now.
one of the more that's one of the places where the fundamentalist Mormons that wanted to keep polygamy alive had moved to. It's down there right on the border of Utah and Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Right closest city. It's not too far from Vegas, pretty close to St. George. The older men would drive out or just kick out their sons once they got to be like 14, 15 so that there'd be more girls to marry. Because if those little fuckers are out there marrying up all the girls and the dirty old men can't get their hands on them.
You can't have hypergamy if you've got an equal number of men and women, which biology provides.
Right. And it's basically just a giant systemic pedophile system,
Yeah.
Awesome. So how did the documentary come down?
Well, the last one that we watched was one of these guys that actually ended up getting Warren Jeffs into court the first time. So he was the one that had come out, one of the males that had come out and accused Warren Jeffs of molesting him. And
Whoa, a dude?
Yeah.
Oh, Warren Jeffs was into the little boys too.
Yeah, that's how they initially.
That was a question. I was not making a defamatory statement for libel purposes.
No, well, yeah, well done. So, yeah, that was one of the main reasons that he came into the radar of the feds.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
One dude came out, and then after he came out, they went to court. A bunch of his brothers and cousins, and a bunch of young men came out and actually.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, good to know.
And then on top of that, and then I think what they ended up taking him down for was some tax stuff or some BS like that, unrelated. But yeah, that was one of the reasons that they started looking at him.
Oh wow.
But there's varying levels of polygamy. There's your urban polygamist, like on Big Love.
Right.
Yeah.
And you won't know. My first girlfriend in high school, she was a polygamist.
Oh yeah, she was cute too. She was hot.
And like, she was much.
They started with an A.
She was much older than I was.
She was the daughter of a.
She was in a polygamous family.
She was a hot cheerleader.
Yeah, she was much older than I was at the time. I was a young man, and she taught me the ways of the world. But
how old were her parents when you started dating her?
Oh, dude, so I never met the mom. I don't think they let her out of the dungeon. But her dad, I met her dad finally.
Oh, you did?
And he was at least like 75.
Whoa.
And she was like 18. And this dude was like at least like mid 70s. He was older than dirt. And then their house was like full on like connected, had the basically connected houses.
Right.
And like they like let her live, like she had like her own little apartment. And I was like,
really?
Yeah, like she had her own little apartment like connected to the house. And like
the fact that she was a cheerleader was weird.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah.
And I thought she was like I was like, oh great, like here's a girl who like let me touch her boobs, like whatever. I don't care. I was like 16, and I didn't really realize like how fucked up this whole deal was, and like there's always people around the house. Like the few times I were over there in the day, like there was always like people around, just like it was just kind of odd. And they all kind of looked at me funny, and they're just like, what the fuck's this guy doing here? Yeah. And I just brushed it off, but. And then somebody told me, they were like, yeah, she's a polygamist. And I was like, no fucking way. I've been over there. Like, they're not polygamous.
She didn't look like one at all. I saw a picture of her one
totally,
time. She didn't look like polygamous at all. Yeah.
And so then I finally, like, we stopped dating, and then, like, we hooked up back up again. I was being a smart ass, and I was like, are you guys, is your family, like, are they polygamous? And she's like, yeah, how'd you find out? And I was like, no shit, really? I was like, is that what your dad sold? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my god. She's like, well, but we're like not with any like affiliation or anything. We just kind of, they were Mormons, but
my dad's just a player.
Yeah, he's just a player. And I was like, oh my god, so crazy,
dude. What's weird though is that like you tell me, but both those girls I knew, Mary and the other one.
Yeah, the other one, yeah.
Hillary, like both of them, super nice girls.
Yeah,
so nice. And all
really
the polygamous dudes I knew too, on the track team at Woods Cross. So Woods Cross High School, your track team used to be populated, the distance portion populated entirely by polygamists, and they were super cool guys.
Yeah, really nice, really nice. Yeah, always nice.
Yeah, always super nice guys.
They just love the ladies.
They just love the ladies. They just got a lot of juice, dude. They gotta spread that juice.
They gotta spread it around, spread the seed. Yeah, no, that's
so crazy.
That's a funny thing when you tell people about that outside of Utah. You know, they're like, what? Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
When I went to college, one of the first week I was there was a dude from Canada, and super cool guy, like really into hockey, like.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. Canadian hockey guy, right? So like, in my mind, a Canadian.
Just any Canadian.
He meets me and he's like, "Where you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, Utah, Salt Lake City." And he's like, "Awesome, polygamy is legal there." And I was like, "That's what you think about the state I'm from."
That's what everybody thinks.
Yeah, it's actually not legal. Polygamy is not legal here.
It's
but
underground. Yeah, I mean they do it.
It's very hidden.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Or sometimes they wear their little handmade dresses right in the grocery store, like, fuck you all.
If their hair is like,
yeah, mom's cashing a welfare check.
If they have like an 8 foot, if the women have handmade dresses and 8 foot long ponytails, you know she's a polygamist.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a bit like if you lived in parts of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the Amish.
It's not hard to spot someone who's Amish.
Yeah.
Or Mennonite.
It's kind of like that.
You can totally tell.
It's very similar.
Yeah, you can totally tell. It's so weird. Yeah, man. What's bizarre to me though is like, and this, if you're a parent out there thinking of going into some like super ultra throwback conservative like sect lifestyle, if your kids escape you, they will probably go wild and be as super crazy liberal as they possibly can. Because every girl I've dated who escaped that, 2 girls,
dirty girls,
they were both super crazy. Like very, very nice girls.
Crazy horny.
They were very liberal. I'll say they were very liberal.
Crazy horny.
Very liberal.
Yeah.
They like Macklemore.
Macklemore,
obviously.
So what else is going on?
There's a Naga tournament coming up.
Naga Salt Lake. So I think a certain number of Salt Lake guys listen to this podcast. Oh, before I forget. So I haven't seen him make it official, but I know of someone who was at the gym that is now Groundworks.
Yeah.
And is now at a different gym. Is going to have his own podcast. I'll tell you who it is later, but he has. I don't think he's officially announced it, but he was asking me about podcasts, and I talked to him a little bit. He's gonna have his own podcast. So Utah guys, there's gonna be another Utah grappling related podcast very soon.
Cool.
He'll probably be at the seminar tomorrow with Dean Lister. So
nice.
If you see Pat or Paige or I around tomorrow, you can ask us who it is, and we'll tell you who it is. There's gonna be another grappling related podcast. He hit us up and asked us about it. In fact, he's gonna be pissed that I didn't call him tonight to come be on this podcast because he wanted to be on the next one we had. We haven't had one for 3 months, so
bummer.
Yeah, he'll be a little bit pissed, but I forgot. I just forgot.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. So soon there'll be more podcasts.
Yeah. Naga.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I am for sure. I don't know about Pat, but I'm gonna do it for sure. Are you doing it?
I think he said, "Fuck no."
Maybe Pat's not doing it. Are you gonna do it?
I'm planning on it. I'm gonna be really rusty, but fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah, dude. If you're listening to this, you're on the fence. Like, just do it.
Just do it.
We're doing it. Paige and I are gonna do it.
My last 4 tournaments have been really miserable, and I've got a chip on my shoulder. And mat time or no mat time, I don't fucking care. It's in my head, and I'm gonna do that.
Dude, see that's like the perfect it was maybe 27 words. The last 27 words you just said could apply to 95% of grapplers, right?
Yeah, right.
It's 95% of grapplers would say their last 4 tournaments they didn't do as well as they wanted to do. Me for sure included in that whole group.
Yeah.
And it's then the last 4 words of that though, I'm doing it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I didn't include the contraction as 2 different words, but
doesn't matter. Just
I'm doing it. Fuck it. Yeah. That's what you should do. Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Because you should go out to win, but it shouldn't be 100% about winning.
Yeah.
Sometimes your journey towards the win takes a whole bunch of losses.
Yeah.
Who was it? Jordan was I win because I failed 10,000 times or something like that.
Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Sakuraba, man, when Sakuraba basically subbed Enzo, Euler, Boyce, Hyen,
Gracie Killer.
he subbed when the Gracies, when that really meant a a lot more than it does now. Like
Yeah.
Gracie Hunter fucking took out 4 Gracies in a row, and they asked him, "Hey, what's your record?" And he was like, "I've lost a lot and I've won a lot."
Yep.
Man.
Perfect answer.
Yeah, when I heard those words, I was like, "Man, you're not really a combat sports guy unless you've lost a lot and won a lot." Because if you've only won a lot, you're probably a guy like, I want to say a name right now. There's certain guys in the U.S. and they're like, I'm undefeated. I've never had a point scored against me in submission grappling. But those guys,
Who the hell's that?
David Terrell,
Whoa.
those guys haven't competed for the last
Yeah.
almost
Okay,
10 years now.
guys are a lot better now.
Yeah, it's
David Terrell was a badass back in the day.
he was super badass.
Yeah, he was the super badass.
But you gotta lose a lot and win a lot. That's the only way to really be at your peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's naturally going to be peaks and valleys, right? So every time you up your game, like if you're a gi guy, and every time you go up in a belt, you're probably going to lose for a while.
Yeah.
And then you're going to start peaking out at that belt level. Or if you're a no gi guy, you're going to have your divisions that are similar, roughly similar to belt levels, and you're going to peak out at that level before you should graduate to the next level, where you're going to start losing, and you're just going to have those peaks and valleys.
Yeah, if you just don't train as much or
you're putting shit in your life. Happen. You're going to have injuries. You're going to get people get married, have kids, divorce, all that crap.
And any bit of that detritus could cause you to just be like, I'm done competing.
Oh yeah.
I have a winning record. I'm done. Or I did okay. I'm done. But a perfect example is Dean and Josh Barnett. Neither of these guys have perfect records, right? But Josh Barnett fucking taps Dean Lister, and they're like, who the fuck can we have face him? The guy they pick? Cyborg. Same thing.
Cyborg going to go against Barnett? I mean?
That's what they're saying.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome match. But it's so awesome because, the reason, pick Barnett. He's maybe the best chance. Cyborg is maybe the best chance to beat Barnett. He has a lot of losses.
Yeah.
But only a guy who has a lot of losses and a lot of wins can be at that top level.
Yeah.
These guys like Sakuraba, Barnett, Lister, Cyborg, Buchecha, Rodolfo even.
Yeah.
He got subbed by Lister in a very short amount of time. These guys all have losses because they fucking pushed it to the edge,
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we gotta be.
Yep.
I want to be elk hunting.
I agree with you there.
Fall. Just kidding.
If we start talking about hunting, this is never going to get back on track.
That's true. But the same with hunting, you gotta have a lot of losses.
Fuck. Oh, dude, so many.
Yeah. You have a lot of losses. The elk. So elk hunters don't talk about a lot, but the elk, they fucking win a lot.
Dude, they're fucking tricky. They
beat these guys a lot.
I was telling somebody today, they were asking me about where I'm going hunting and stuff, and I was like, I'm taking 9 days off again, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking go down and hopefully I can wrap it up in the first couple of days, but then I was like, but it's elk hunting, so I'll probably be down there till day 8.
Till the very
getting rained on and fucking walking 10 miles a day and just getting my ass kicked until something happens. So, but no, that's why I'm not doing the tournament, is because I'm gonna be elk hunting the whole week.
I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah, no,
I thought you said fuck no from the bathroom.
Yeah, no, I'm just I thought about it and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the tournament, and then I was like, I'm gonna be fucking hunting for 9 days before the or 9 days before, and then I'm gonna have half a week or whatever. You can't even really roll that hard the week of a tournament. You don't want to get hurt. And, man, I was injured for the last 2 weeks since me and you rolled my knee.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I'm just like, no, not gonna do it. I've done tournaments before where I wasn't physically prepared, and it's just terrible. It's just I end up going in there, going 1 and out, and just throwing my guts up after the match. And it's not that I'm afraid of losing. I'm fine losing, but I'm more like it's disrespectful to like the competition, like to
Yeah,
go in there when
if you're not 100%.
Yeah, if you're not like it's not even 100%. Just done everything you can, like and like when you've done everything you can, get ready for a tournament, like. And I'm like man, it's just kind of like disrespectful if you go in there and you haven't like been put in the time, and it's just like if you're like being at like 80%, like everybody's like. If you grapple for a long time, everybody's at like 80% because you're constantly injured all the time. You're never at 100%. But it's like if you're at like 40% because your cardio sucks because you've been injured and you've been doing something else and you haven't been putting in mat time. It's like man, for me, I'm just like kind of like I feel like kind of a dick if I just show up and try and do it, like
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of like showing up at the strip club because you just got paid, right?
With no money.
Or if you just
showing up with no dollar bills, that's what it's like.
Or if you just show up like every 6 months, you just got paid.
Yeah.
There's guys in there who are like
putting in time.
I mean, they're coming in every paycheck and they're throwing $10 at the strippers, like trying to work up.
They know their actual first names.
Yeah.
Like shit's getting
those
real.
guys are the dudes that put in the time so they can bang one of the strippers eventually.
I know they're
exactly.
They're like she says her name is Juicy J, but it's really Jen, girl at Whiskey Street.
And so it's like, it's like, what are your chances if you show up every 6 months at a strip club that you're gonna bang one of the strippers and take her?
I know these guys that show up.
If you have cocaine, it's 100%.
100% of the time.
That's right. For the vast majority of strippers, that's just a commercial for what they really do.
Right.
Right.
So anybody can bang virtually any stripper. It's just
for free though. That's what I'm saying.
So true.
Well, for free is another story.
For free.
I hear.
Yeah, it's all conjecture. I read it about it on
That's
the
what
internet.
they told us out of window. No, man.
That's true though. I mean, how do those guys feel? You know, the guys who go in there and they're like just like peeling off their like whatever I don't even know how much those guys spend. Maybe $20 every paycheck, or probably $20 per night. But whatever they peel off, whenever they have money, like those guys are in there peeling it off every night. Like
it's an investment.
I know you say your name is Ari. But
Yeah.
your name's really Amanda. And then the guy rolls in and he just like closed a big deal or whatever the fuck he does, and he's like throwing down
dropping hundreds,
like $350. He only comes in like once every 2 months, you know. And the strippers are like, if only he came in every night, he'd be pulling off, $350 every night. It's kind of like this competition thing you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Ridiculous.
So do we have guys from the club?
Yeah, there's
we might have double digits.
It'll be like double digits.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I think we're gonna be able to pull 10.
Yeah.
If we like, if we ride guys and get guys into it, I think we might have double digits.
Yeah.
Let's not ride guys.
I love
Let's just try to
guys.
influence
Passionately, rhythmically.
A little fire.
No,
I want to see a little fire, a little passion out of you boys.
Speaking of that, like, if there's anyone in the Mammoth Lakes area of California,
and you want to ride a guy,
SODC now is a member in Mammoth, working out at Mammoth Strength and Conditioning. Those called Mammoth Strength.
and they've got mats. He's rolling with guys.
They got mats. They have a really good program going.
They have a no-gi club. There's already like four people.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's already four guys.
Mammoth Grappling Club. Look up Ty Watkins.
You should refer to him as Ty motherfucking Watkins.
Ty motherfucking Watkins. Get in there, Mammoth Strength. He can teach you all kinds of no-gi, and those guys are going to come out. Ty and the owner of Mammoth Strength are going to come out of Naga.
Awesome.
And I'm hoping maybe bring a couple members among their students.
I hope he brings that chick that he posts pictures of.
Dirtbag Barbie.
Dirtbag Barbie is
at Dirtbag Barbie.
Yeah.
Doing the slack line.
Slackline.
I don't even know what that means.
If you have Instagram, go and follow Dirtbag Barbie.
You won't regret it.
She's gonna have a bunch of followers now. Like,
I think she's already got like 1 million. Like,
oh, is she really?
Oh yeah, a ton. Maybe not 1 million. A couple grand.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's legit.
Oh, it's
Legit
good.
Sierra Nevada girl with a great ass.
Fair enough. So they might be coming out. So we've got got Paige coming from up north. We got Ty coming from out west.
I'm trying to bring some of those pussies with me too.
Bring them, man. Dude,
Dave
awesome.
Blues will come up.
Dave Blue coming from down south. So he's, I mean, for people in Europe or Asia, he's basically coming from Mexico.
Yeah, basically.
He might as well be in Mexico where he's
Yeah.
at. Like halfway Mexico,
Yeah.
literally.
If he can get out of Colorado City, he'll be good.
Yeah. I love it. I love when he comes to tournaments. Like, his wife is so tolerant and, like, nice.
Yeah.
She's
She's incredibly nice.
she deals so nicely with us.
She was pretty dubious about our whole thing.
I know, right?
And now she's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's always super nice, so that's
And
good.
Dave's just a killer, man.
Dave
Doesn't
Oh my
train at
God.
all. Shows up to tournaments and whoops ass.
Yeah, this guy, he'll start thinking about cutting, like, man, 3 weeks out from weigh-in day, and he's kind of training, but really not. Really not training too much.
Just doing a lot of fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
That's
he's
the training.
slaying those fucking largemouth and smallmouth bass out of Quill Hollow Reservoir.
There's the fish.
Yeah. And he shows up at the tournaments, and he does just fine.
He does great.
Yeah.
He's like a completely different guy when there's something on the line.
Yeah. He's a game day guy. Like, he straps on his cleats. And,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, if he, like, the problem is he lives in a town where he doesn't have, like, perfect training alternatives or perfect training choices for him, so he can't train as much, or he doesn't at least.
Yeah.
But this guy, man, he gets on the straps on the cleats, he's on the field, and he's good to go.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Hey, speaking of, isn't Walt Bayless doing a seminar pretty soon?
Here, he
He
did.
did.
Did you
Last-
guys go?
like,
Did
last
anybody
week or
go?
the week before.
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, it was cheap too. It was cheap.
It's like $50.
It was $50.
Yeah.
No, it was less. It was way less.
Is it 30?
Yeah, I want to say it was
Training
like
legendary Walt
20
Bayless.
or 30. Yeah.
I don't know.
We've talked about this guy before on the podcast. He's kind of like a local legend. He was clear back in the like early mid 90s. This guy was already doing no-gi grappling when there was barely like one BJJ guy in all of Utah. So
Yeah.
he's kind of like an old legend. But
I was just wondering if anybody. I didn't see anybody talking about it, and I
no.
didn't hear about anybody going.
My homie from Horns, Corey Turkelson, was promoting that super hard. So we had full forewarning on it, but we didn't go. We had something going
I
on.
didn't hear about it.
I heard about it, but I'm always working on the
Yeah,
weekends. So yeah, weekends are usually pure work for me. But yeah, we've actually had a Bayless guy recently come up to a live room of Matt's, Mafufo Sia, who's a badass.
Dude, Mafo was a badass.
Yeah, he's a badass. Mafu's been coming up.
And
Awesome
the calmest
grappler.
motherfucker I've ever
That's because
rolled with.
you
You know why?
Dude, listen to this.
Okay, there's a reason. So people who've been following MMA in Utah, they've probably their whole we've been watching Mafu fight since probably
Well, it's like 2003.
yeah, he's been fighting since like 2003. We've been watching him fight since then. MMA. This guy, his uncle was like a boxing coach, and now he's a really good grappler. But I think he was even known as the quiet one. He was fighting really frequently in MMA. We could never figure out why. The reason this guy is so calm and quiet. This motherfucker, super cool, but he only sleeps like 3 hours per night.
Forever.
What?
We asked him since he was a
forever.
kid.
He's only like slept
He
like
sleeps
3
like 3 hours per night.
Yeah.
He's got so much shit going on. He sleeps like 3 hours, gets up, does his shit.
Yeah,
Only sleeps 3 hours per night.
that's his thing.
Wait, so like it's not like an insomnia.
No.
No.
It's like
That's
that's,
what he does.
what he gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he does. No
So
matter
he's been
what.
doing it forever.
He says,
Can you imagine if that dude had a full night's rest?
Yeah.
I
that's
know.
what
He's
saying.
terrifying when he's exhausted.
Yeah. Dude, he says he catches up. Like, every once in a while, he'll catch up and sleep, like, 12 hours. But average night for him is 3 hours.
Wow.
That's why he's so laid back.
That's why he's so relaxed.
Thanks to Mafu, but I was pretty sure he was just banked.
Dude, it's just insomnia and kava.
And Kava.
Yeah.
Is he pounding the Kava?
Oh, yeah. All the time. Every time we see him on Sundays, I'm like, how much did you sleep last night? And he's like, oh, well, we drank kava until X hours at night. And then I slept 3 hours, and then I'm here.
Damn.
So that's the whole deal. I think that's why he's so relaxed all the time. But he's an awesome guy. Like sicking him on Ken on Sundays is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Is he working Ken over?
A
little bit.
I don't think I've watched I haven't watched the rules closely enough to know, but like it's perfect, right?
He catches it. He catches it with some funky stuff.
Well, the cool thing about Mafu is like even when he can catch you, he kind of won't. He plays that cat and mouse thing.
Yeah.
He loves to just play positions and like.
Yeah.
He's a fun guy to roll.
And he'll let you attack like crazy, just to like shut you down. Well, at least that's the way I feel.
No, I agree.
He will just like let me fucking do whatever I want and just shut down everything I go for.
He's a good training partner.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And I know for his Facebook, good dad too, because like 90% of his posts are about his son. So he's always following his son. Yeah. So he's a good dude for sure. He's a good dude.
I like that guy a lot.
Yeah, for sure. What else we got going on?
I don't know, we should probably wrap it up, dude.
Okay, what time we got?
Getting kind of late.
Oh, almost midnight. That means you young guys are getting ready to go to the bar.
Yeah.
Anything else going on? Anything else you want to comment on? What about Roy Dean and Stuart Cooper?
Wait, what?
Oh, you don't know about this?
I'm not hip on this.
Give
me the short version.
Okay, so what happened
was... so disgusted he's walking.
I'm going to give you the neutral account. So
it's just bullshit. BJ.
No, it's important.
It's just that
it's important current news.
It's
important current news. So Stuart Cooper, who of course you know,
the filmmaker, dude.
Yep. So he went up to Oregon, to Bend, Oregon, great fly fishing town, to make a video about Roy Dean.
Great beer town.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Roy Dean, like kind of a TMA-ish Aikido type guy, right?
Stuart makes
this whole video about Roy Dean. Kind of like, you can tell the whole video, he's trying to make it cool that Roy Dean is so TMA-ish. Like, he does a lot of yoga. Like, most of the video is him doing yoga.
Yeah.
And his gym, his academy is very, like, Japanese.
Yeah. I've watched some of his videos. Yeah.
Okay, you know.
Yeah.
So, apparently what happened was, I'm just going to go off the established facts here. I'm not going to conjecture too much. But Stuart went there and filmed this documentary, and he became friends by his own admission with the front desk girl, who is not super ugly. Right?
But she's not like Roy Dean's wife or anything.
No.
Okay.
So
I thought this was going down bad.
If I read everything correctly, Stuart alleges that Roy had hit on this chick, I forget it was 3 or 5 times in 3 years, and she had turned him down every time. She's like, she was like a blue belt when this all went down, and had been a white belt, so she was like a student in Roy's academy, and he had hit on her, like, according to Stuart, repeatedly over the course of years, while she was his subordinate, working the front desk at his academy. So Stuart befriends her, and we don't know, was it sexual or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
But they're like friends. He was in Thailand, he moves to Bend, Oregon, they become friends, and Stuart gets his own apartment in Bend, which is across the street from Roy Dean's apartment, apparently. And Stuart noted that Roy saw the girl leaving Stuart's place in the morning one morning, and there was some other stuff, like the girl went with Stuart to New York to help be a second cameraman for the documentary on Marcelo Garcia. So it seems like the upshot of it is Roy fired her from the academy and banned Stuart from the academy. Yeah, so Stuart was like pissed about this, and he described it all online. Nice. And then Roy came online and defended it all, and then Stuart took down the Roy Dean documentary he created and then Roy put it back up, but offered it for sale. Like Stewart had his footage for free on YouTube,
Oh,
and
wow.
then Roy put it back up for $49.99
The fuck?
with his own commentary. As near as I can tell, don't sue me for.
This isn't just BJJ drama. This is just like dumb guy drama.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So. So they had this huge battle online on multiple forums. SureDogs, MMA.tv. I was on the Atomic forum over on the UT. And it all went down in multiple threads, and then it got worse. Like, Stewart probably made some mistakes, and then Roy had his I'll say this: Roy, the guy who was managing Roy's like social media and was like his webmaster, that guy was fighting for Roy, and Stewart was making comments. There was a lot of drama.
Nice.
A lot of drama. But one thing I noticed, like, people were pissed at Stewart because he has an 8-pack, basically. And then people were pissed at Roy because he said he was a creepy TMA Aikido guy.
Yeah.
Hitting on his, like, maybe hitting on his front desk girl.
Whether or not that happened, I think it's pretty abundantly clear that he is a creepy TMA guy. Like, with or without the secretary.
That's my opinion. Yeah, that's my opinion. So it became very factious. Like, even Keenan Cornelius was like weighing in on this issue because it was like so at the front of
Why does he
everyone's
fucking
mind.
care?
Because Stewart was filming a documentary about Keenan right after Roy. So Stewart jumped into the fray, and he's like,
Jesus.
Keenan had this interview where he's basically like, yeah, I've noticed in BJJ there's a lot of like instructor worship and like black belt worship, and
Yeah.
maybe that's what's going on with the whole Stewart Brody Dean thing.
Yeah.
But it was, man, yeah, it got crazy there. I felt bad for Stewart because Stewart is not, I would say, having looked at Stewart's posts, I would say he's more of an artist guy, not a public relations guy.
Yeah, I would gather that would be true. I mean, he is
Yeah.
an artist. Like, his films are beautiful,
I
man.
love his videos.
Yeah.
And what's weird is, like, there are all these guys on the Roy Dean side who are going on and saying, like, fuck Stuart Cooper's videos, they're bullshit, they're poorly shot. And I was like,
What?
dude, this guy's going all over the world filming all the heroes of grappling,
Yeah.
and giving it to us for fucking free.
Documenting it. Like,
Yeah.
imagine if, like, somebody would have been doing that, like, 20, 30 years ago. It'd be fucking brilliant.
Dude, I would have killed. Like, we had videos like Day of the Zen, which was something that was like, I think sold at a profit, and that was like a little documentary about 24 hours of Margaret Sperry's life, and that was about it. There's no grappling documentaries, and then Stewart comes along and he's doing all this shit for free. He's away for free.
It's awesome.
So awesome. Like, totally an artist guy. Like, I love his videos.
Yeah.
I totally love them. And all these Roy Dean supporters were like, Stewart's videos are amateurish. How dare it? He started like an Indiegogo campaign to help fund his videos, and like guys were like, how dare he go and live a dream lifestyle where he goes into this Marcelo and Crone and
Right.
then asking for donations. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll donate to his campaign.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because otherwise I wouldn't get these videos. But a lot of people, like, I felt there was a lot of envy on those threads. 'Cause a lot of people were like, fuck Stuart Cooper, come in, come in.
Done?
No, we're still filming. Come in though. So you remember Paige, right? Yeah,
Hi, good to see you.
Have you been out drinking?
No, I just got off from work.
Oh, you just came from work?
Yeah,
What did you got there?
the dim sum, yeah.
Oh, the dim sum?
You want some?
Maybe after.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Did you
Yeah,
want
it's
some?
okay.
Yeah.
Jack could not have it.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have a dim sum delivery. Yeah.
This kind of goes back to something I wish I had thought of earlier when we were kind of more in it here.
Okay, yeah, keep talking.
But and you guys have probably seen this way more than me because I kind of came to the grappling game pretty late.
Okay.
There's been
Keep going.
an unbelievable change in people's attitudes and like the commercialism of grappling and jiu-jitsu, you know, you look at like
Keep it up.
Oh, heat up. Good heat up. Okay. Keep going.
you look at like how many like boutique, like super high-end boutique brands have managed to forge their way into things, and like
Oh yeah.
you know, and there's massive amounts of money starting to pop up, and like it's completely fucking changed the vibe of the whole thing to me. You know?
It's so much in flux right now because we've got like, it's sort of like because of these guys giving a lot of media exposure to graph, or like Stewart, like all of a sudden you can have like Keenan Cornelius, like being sponsored by some apparel manufacturer, and people are actually gonna buy it for the first time. And that wasn't true 5 years ago. Like if Henzo wore a pair of Storm Valley Tudo shorts, like two guys were gonna buy shit from Storm, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
But now, like maybe it can actually work, and it's really like changing big time.
Yeah. Well, just look at like 10th Planet pushing spats.
Oh yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, there's a fucking industry for spats.
Dude, we've got multiple guys in our gym all of a sudden doing spats. Even just the terminology, like even just like I would have called them tights, and I'm calling them spats just because that's what everybody else calls it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even know why. I don't know where that word comes from.
Yeah,
but that's what I know them as now.
Yeah,
in grappling, they're spats.
They are.
In cycling or anything else, they're tights, right?
Yep. In track, they're definitely tights, but in grappling, they're spats. Yeah, it's true.
But there's definitely a shift, and like, and I think along with that shift towards like materialism, this sort of like shallow perspective towards the, you know, what should be combat. Like, there's also that attitude, you know.
Yeah.
And I think we like these little feuds and shit that are starting to pop up.
Yeah.
It's just a shallow attitude when what we really should be doing is fucking training and fighting and being martial artists.
Yeah.
But, you know, instead there's just a lot of petty human bullshit. And, you know, isn't that what we're trying to rise above? You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's a good point. I mean, like, the whole point of it is doing something that everybody, like, really enjoys.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks, sweetie.
You can't have any?
I can't have it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, eat that.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah.
You're going to have some, too, yeah? There's no, I can only eat like.
Oh, have some. Yeah, have some if you can. So we got a little dim sum delivery here. That's nice.
Yeah.
Dean Lister, oh, but you don't have any dim sum tonight, do you?
I know.
You're probably at some bar.
I'm guessing he's probably, like, they either didn't go out or they're still out, because my source is, like, totally radio silent on me.
Yeah, so we're trying to stalk Dean Lister a little bit here, and we're not getting any feedback. So
yeah. I'm kind of disappointed.
Maybe he's flying in the morning. Maybe he's like, no, he's here for sure.
He's here for sure.
Oh, okay.
Confirmed.
So what the fuck is he doing?
I'm sure they're drinking.
Yeah.
I just maybe not with the guy that I think.
Oh, that's possible.
I'm gonna make some mess possible.
Yeah, that's super possible, dude. But I can guarantee you almost that Dean Lister is not eating dim sum right now. At this very second. He might be drinking a beer, which is pretty good, but I'll bet he's not eating dim sum right now.
Pretty decent dim sum too.
Yeah. I don't even know where that came from.
Me neither.
So I'll bet it's Bluefin on State Street by Century 16.
Oh.
No, actually don't have dim
Is
sum.
that
That's
a
a lie.
yellowfin?
No, there's a place called Bluefin on State Street.
Oh,
now.
the yellowfin's at the
Sugar House.
Sugar House,
Yeah. Actually,
and they're unrelated, right?
Yep, totally unrelated. This might be from Ho Ho Gourmet, maybe, right next to Hey babe, where was the dim sum from?
From Cafe and Home, Chinese restaurant.
And Home?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Cafe on Home.
Where's that?
There we go. Where's that?
Next to my Thai Siam.
Oh, okay. Which direction?
On Straight Street.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Cafe on Home on State Street in Salt Lake City. Thank you for the dim sum.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I'm such a chopstick failure.
Is it possible that you can use your hands if you want to, man?
That's all right.
Is it possible that Dean Lister already knows people in Salt Lake and he's just like partying with them tonight?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of hard to believe, right?
Well, it's possible though.
I mean, very possible, very
Do
plausible.
you think you like called up Jeremy Horn or like?
They fought together.
Yeah, I mean they know each other.
Yeah, but I don't think Horn God, I feel like Horn would probably invite him for a night of World of Warcraft more than with squad drinking.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that all falls out.
Yeah. Trying to think of what grapplers he might know here, but there's really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you would know Horn for sure because they fought 2 times. If I'm remembering right. I mean, that's about it. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's not hanging out with like Ricky Lundell or.
No, fuck
Yeah.
no. He might be hanging out. He's probably hanging out in his hotel room, just like.
I wish someone would call me and go to the fucking bar.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Should we Yeah, we probably hit him up on his website and like send me an email and be like, Dean, let's go party.
Yeah. Should have done that 2 hours ago.
I know, I thought about it too, but okay, let's see if we can go to his website right now. And Dean goes all over Europe all the time, so this is relevant for our European listeners.
Yeah. Think ahead.
Yeah,
Be punks like us.
yeah, DeanLister.net.
Some good hot sauce. Do you know what that is?
That's probably pepper paste plus. No, actually, that one's. There's this Thai thing they have that's like kind of like halfway between pepper paste and sriracha.
Yeah.
That might be it. Or might be. Let me check. Let me check here real quick.
Oh, you don't have to.
Hey, sweetie.
It's fucking delicious.
Hey, sweetie. What's that hot sauce? From where? In the cupboard? Oh, is it one of the Mexican ones? Oh, it's a Mexican one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a Mexican hot sauce.
It's delicious.
We're good at those, right?
Yeah, works great.
Yeah, we had one that was kind of like halfway between sriracha and the pepper paste. Okay, Dean Lister. Let's see. Contact.
Yeah, we have not had the most focused podcast this evening.
We were pretty good for the first little bit, but let's send a text to Dean Lister right now. Oh no. Submit. Okay, we're gonna send a message to Dean Lister right now. We're on his website. Dean, what bar are you at? What bar are you at? Your Salt Lake fans.
Perfect.
Your Salt Lake fans. Okay, we'll send this to him and see what we get here. Submit. Oh. Give me your name. Get our name. Katie, and we're pretty in like.
Oh, it's like one of those web form things, right?
Yeah. Dean, we're fully filling out the web form on your website. So I've got his I've talked to him a couple times on his underground ID too, so we can hit there too. Let's see, okay. This would be good evidence that we tried to hit him up. Salt Lake fans.
I'm sure he's going to want to go out tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, I think it was guaranteed in the. We paid for the seminar. I think it was guaranteed. Okay, so we sent an email to Dean Lister through his website, so he knows we're trying to hang out with him. That we're stalking him. He knows we're stalking him. So what time does the seminar start tomorrow?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Why do I feel like that was probably not him?
Yeah, it's really early.
I feel like he probably starts his day at like 1.
Yeah,
You know?
that would make way more sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I would normally start my Saturday.
Yeah, if I was Dean Lister, my Saturday would start at 1.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't even have to be Dean Lister. That's just normal.
That's just when you start your
Sleep as
Saturday.
much as possible. Try to catch up for the week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's when it should start for sure. Dude, how else can we hit him up right now? Underground ID.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wonder if he runs his Instagram. You never know with people anymore.
Yeah, try his Instagram. We've got it. I think I've got his. I might have his email somewhere too. Let's see.
Dean Boogeyman Lister. August 23rd, Groundworks, Utah is my next seminar.
I'm gonna Google Dean Lister contact.
10 a.m. Don't be late. Looks like they took him to one of those Brazilian steakhouse things.
I think. Oh, where's... Dude, that doesn't look familiar. Okay, should we call the podcast and then
Yeah.
work on this? Okay, thanks everybody. See you next time.